Welcome back to week 4 of 4 of our At the Bar series with Amy De La Force from Switched Media. If you've missed the other 3, they are absolutely awesome, so go back and watch those for some great marketing gems. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you for
at our
having me.
noisy, windy warehouse. Excellent. I want to ask you a couple of questions around content, some around video content, but mostly around the creating of content. So obviously we've spoken around the creative bottlenecks, what happens when you get stuck, writer's block type situation or creative block. What other issues do you think large companies face when it comes to creating content?
I think probably the biggest one is not necessarily having a strategy, particularly from a content marketing perspective. A lot of organizations might have a content plan, but not necessarily a strategy on how they are actually putting together that content plan.
Yep.
So there are a lot of things that really go into the research phase of that, making sure that you've got a really good understanding of your target audience and what they're looking for and how you can help them as a brand with content. Strategy is probably the biggest one, yeah. Obviously having that great understanding of your audience and just making sure that you know what they need from content, what they would like from content, being able to move within those things. Mm-hmm. Also really thinking about what's the extra value that you're adding there and making sure that you've got an amplification process for actually producing that value add content. Because it's that whole thing of, you can make your content and kind of wait for results, but really that's not necessarily the way it works anymore. Yeah, getting those quick wins on the board and just making sure that people know about the things that you're producing is massive.
Very cool. Now this is a loaded question if ever I've seen one, and our editors will cut the answer out if it's no good, but what do you think of video?
I like video.
You're allowed to stay.
Look, I think video is a really important one because there are additional elements to video that you can't necessarily get across through mediums like writing. You've got the visual aspects, the auditory aspects. Video is a medium that really helps you to connect with audiences, and from that perspective, it's not really that surprising that so much of content that's being consumed on social media right now is video. It's this huge thing that brands are trying to figure out how to tap into, and so it's great that guys like you guys exist to do exactly that.
There we are, here to help. So is there a right or wrong way to do content?
Okay. A couple of years back, you're really looking at things like producing as much content as possible, and that's not really the way to go about it anymore. You want to make sure that the content that you're creating is high impact, that it really is adding value for people. MD has a philosophy that is the throw money off the roof philosophy. What is the difference between what you're doing now and throwing money off a roof? If throwing money off a roof is going to get more buzz, better brand sentiment, essentially better results from an awareness perspective, particularly from an awareness perspective, then why would you not just do that instead? If the money off the roof equation is going to work out better, then you really need to readjust what you're doing with content.
So we're at our last question now, the last curly one from Talina. Would you rather have to wear socks and sandals every time you left the house, or have to wear a bum bag to any formal occasion?
It's legitimately devastating. So I used to be a fashion writer and I just cannot align myself with either of these
I can see you
options.
rocking both of them.
Oh God. I think I would probably have to go with a bum bag, just pretty much because you can maybe kind of pull it off.
Does Dolce & Gabbana have any kind of bum bag? No, probably not. No.
Yeah, it's...
Best of two bad options.
Talina, that was tough.
Cheers.
Cheers.